Okay, this is Jackie Alvarez. She's 10 years old and she is a veteran loomer, right, Jackie? Okay, we're gonna ask a few questions just so we can get to know you. How about that? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so let's find out what of all the looming projects that you've made, because you make lots of things. You make hats, purses, all kinds of stuff. So what's your favorite looming project?
My favorite looming project are the hats.
Yeah? Well, who do you make them for?
I make them for premature babies,
Mm-hmm.
cancer patients, and orphans in foreign countries.
Yeah? Why? Why do you like to do that?
Because I get to help others, and you just get this feeling inside that I can't really explain it.
Okay. But it makes you feel good, right?
Yes.
That's good, that's good. Okay, well that's a good reason, and those are good organizations, and that's a great project, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how about you tell me how you get started? Like, what are your supplies that you use for these projects?
So, you use one of these hooks,
Mm-hmm.
a plastic needle,
Okay.
a loom,
Okay.
and 2 strings of yarn.
Okay, why do you like to use 2 strings of yarn? Because some people just use 1.
The reason I like to use 2 strings of yarn is because it helps it last longer and it's stronger.
Yeah. I like to use 2 because it makes me go faster, but that's just me, right? Okay. Well, that's a good reason. And you have your scissors that are just perfect for your size, right? Great. Okay, so just tell me, like, how long does it take you to finish a hat most of the time?
Most of the time it takes me an hour or so.
About an hour? Wow, that's pretty good. And you've been looming for, like, how long?
Maybe 2 years.
Oh, wow, that means you started when you were 8.
Yes.
That's crazy. Okay, so we're gonna come back so you could start showing us how to loom. Sounds good? All right, we'll be right back.
So first off, you tie both of the strings to the top stick on the side of the loom.
And this is like part 1 of 3 parts, right? Because right now we're just gonna start the hat, and you're gonna secure the yarn to your outer peg, so it doesn't get loose, right? And just it's crazy. Okay.
And then you start turning, but make sure the yarn is on the inside.
Okay, makes sense. So that you can pull it later. Okay. And you're gonna go completely around.
Yes.
Okay. Are you putting it really tight or kind of tight or what?
It's kind of tight, but it's to the point that I can actually flip it.
Okay. And so now we're gonna go to a second row?
Yes, but
Okay.
first you put the top row down.
Okay. So you're gonna push that first row down. Okay. There we go. Is that hard to do or okay?
It's okay. If you
All right.
if you want to do it loose, that's fine, but I suggest you do it kind of tight,
Okay.
so then it could also be stronger.
Okay. Because too loose kind of leaves you like holes and stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you do it too strong, you're not able to flip it.
Yeah, I agree, because that's happened to me. Okay, good idea. All right, so now we're doing the second row with 2 strings of yarn, so that's
And-
gonna give a total of 4.
Yes.
Okay.
And also make sure that you get the second string from the end of the yarn.
Okay, that way you only have to use one roll of yarn. You don't have to have 2 of them in order to get your 2 strings.
Yes.
Yeah, I like
But
that
unless
idea.
you're having 2 different colors, that's when you need it.
Exactly, okay.
But first you flip the end one.
Okay, the bottom, your bottom.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you start flipping all around.
So you're pulling 2 strings from the bottom over your 2 strings on the top.
Yes.
Okay, and it's basically like a little loop coming over.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Is
But-
that giving you a lot of trouble or
No.
Okay.
Basically, it looks like a braid when you're done with it.
On the inside.
Yes, on the inside and on the outside.
And so you're leaving 2 up at the top so that you get ready for your next row.
Yes.
Okay. And you're gonna make your hat with a brim. Do you always use a brim? Do you always make one?
I would like to use a brim because it makes it easier.
Okay. You like the way it looks?
Yes. And but if you just want to do it without a brim, that's fine also.
Okay, makes sense. I like mine with brims. I think they look nicer. They
and
look
that
more
way
finished.
And that way you could put decorations after.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now we're going for a second row. And like how many of these do you think? Do you count when you're gonna do your brim?
Yes, you usually need 7 or 8
rows.
Yes.
Okay. I'm really bad at counting because I don't keep up with things. So I just use my eyes and I try to figure out how long I want it. But you're doing 7 rows where you go around completely 7 times. That's how you're gonna do your brim.
Yes.
Cool. All right.
With the bigger looms, it usually takes more because you want to cover the entire ear.
Makes sense. Okay. So you're gonna finish looming, and we're gonna come back after you've done those 7 rows. Sounds good?
Yes.
All right. We'll be back.
So now, this is how to do the brim of it. Okay. It's this part.
This part right here, huh? Okay, yes. Bring it down a little lower so we can see a little better. Bring it down so you can show. Okay, so we're doing this part right here, right? This brim. Okay, so you've loomed about 7 times. You've gone around.
Yes.
And now we're back at that outer peg.
So now it's okay to release it once you're doing to the brim, but make sure that you tie it here, or at least leave it the way it was.
Okay.
And then bring it through.
Okay. Do you do this a little earlier usually, or you wait till you're done with the brim?
I usually do this earlier, but I think it's better when you're done at the brim.
Okay. All right. And what's next?
Next, you take the very bottom of what you have loomed. You take the first 2 strings, which would be right here.
Okay, so that very, very, like the first row that you made is what you're picking back up again.
Yes, and then you put it back on the peg.
Okay, the loops.
Yes.
Okay. Easy to put on, or can it get confusing? Do you ever get confused putting those back on?
I do get confused, but it's always better to make sure that you've done them all.
Okay. And this is a small one, so there's going to be 24 loops that you're going to put back onto those 24 pegs.
Yes.
Okay. And your brim, since you did 7, I would say it's about maybe 3 inches or so.
Yes.
Okay.
Usually the 3 inches is the best because it covers the whole ear.
Okay. Keep them warmer. I like that idea. That's a good idea to cover to make the brim enough to cover the ear. I like that. That's a good idea. Okay, and so you're almost completely around. And ta-da, there'll be no leftover loops,
see
right?
Here, we have 1 loop that's missing.
Ooh.
So what you do with that is that you get the one that you got from the beginning, and you put it over.
Okay. Was that on purpose, or that's just a little boo-boo?
That was a little boo-boo.
Okay. So normally you have the same number of loops as you have pegs.
Yes.
Okay.
So
all right,
make sure.
So what's our second part?
Make sure that it's all around.
Okay.
And then you start flipping so it's secure.
Okay. So just like before, you're taking that those bottom two and you're flipping them.
Yes.
Over the top two.
Yes.
Okay.
Usually with the brim, it's harder to flip it because you have a large area.
I see. And is it kind of loose, or it's okay? Feels comfortable?
It's comfortable, but
Okay.
you kind of have to struggle with it
Okay,
because sometimes it doesn't even come off.
I see.
And when it doesn't come off,
Mm-hmm.
you have these little columns
Okay,
that helps you bring up the yarn.
okay. So it's like a little dent in the peg.
Yes.
Got it. And that's basically you're resting your hook on that little dent to help you
Bring up
grab
the
the yarn to bring it up. Very cool. Okay, and there we
And-
are. And even though there was a boo-boo,
You could still
fixed
fix it.
Yeah, good job. Because that happens sometimes.
There's the brim.
There you go. Good job. All right, that's our beginning. So you're done with the brim, ready to move on with to the hat, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll come back.
Now that we've finished the brim,
Mm-hmm.
we go to the middle of the hat,
Okay.
which is this part.
Okay.
I usually count
The rows.
because
Okay.
you want it to be equal, and you know, it's
Easier.
easier.
Okay.
And that way, it's the amount that it needs.
Okay, it's consistent, and you're
And-
always having the same, basically.
Yes.
Cool.
And there's different sizes. Like for the infant, it's about 15 or more. For the child, it's 20, and then for the adult, it's from 22 to 30, depending on how big their head is.
Okay.
And then this is one of the other looms we use. And that's for either the child or an adult.
Like an average size adult, because there's one
Yes.
bigger loom, right? Okay, so how many rows do you do on that green one?
On the green one, you do about 26.
Okay, more or less.
Yes.
Okay, but for this one, which you're doing on the blue loom, which is a 24 peg loom for like an infant,
Yes.
that's the one you're gonna do how many rows now?
About 15 or more.
Okay, so we're done with the brim. We're moving on to the hat, and you're ready to start looming again.
Yes.
And so what are you gonna do? Are you doing anything different, or we're gonna do about the same thing when we started?
It's the same thing as you started.
Okay.
So you just push down the brim.
Okay, back to the bottom.
And then you start going around.
Okay. Back, and so you're looping the yarn on the inside again like you did when we started.
Yes.
Got it. And so at this point you have 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom,
Yes.
which really, because you have 2 strings, is really 4 in total.
And also be careful when the string becomes undone because it happens a lot.
Yeah, it happens
So-
to me too.
So
Just wrap again, right?
yes, it's the same thing. So when you're doing this, always check over and revise that you did everything. That way you can go back before you flip anything.
Okay. And just make sure you got all your loops covered.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and finish looming the 15 rows?
Yes.
Okay, I forget. Okay, 15 rows, and we're gonna come back. At that point, you're gonna have what looks like a hat, and we'll be ready to close. Cool. All right, we'll come back.
Okay, now since we have finished the hat, we are ready to close the hat.
Awesome. Okay.
My suggestion is that you go halfway so you have enough space.
Yeah, I do that too. That's a good idea. So, like, just a little bit after the peg, right?
Yes. If
Okay.
you end up over here, right after the first one after the peg. But if
Okay.
you land over here, it would be over
Okay.
in here
All right.
on the 12th peg.
Okay, so you stopped on the other side of the peg. So now you're
Yes.
going to come around with your string so that you have about the same length as half of your loom.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, you ready to cut?
And then you take your scissors.
Cool. There you go. And you're going to cut your string. Okay.
Wait, it takes a while. Especially with this kind of string. About right there.
Awesome. Okay.
And now what you do is you take this, you open it up, and then you put it through. And then you pull it.
Okay, so you're securing it by making that knot.
Yes.
Okay.
I suggest you do it with this, that way it makes it easier.
Okay, so
Pull it through.
you just use the same hook
Yes.
and you're pulling your loops off of the peg. And then you take the hook and you're feeding it through that loop.
Yes.
Okay. Do you ever have to like use your fingers to pull it off, or no, the hook works good?
It works good, but sometimes I use my fingers to pull it off. You could do it either way.
But I see you mostly use that hook.
Yes.
Okay, cool. You know that most people have a really hard time closing the hat.
I do, and that's why it's a good way to do it part by part so they could learn it.
Exactly, I agree. Yeah, that way you don't have to worry so much. You learn it one part at a time, and that makes it easier, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so what's happening is it's closing in, huh?
It's closing.
Okay. Cool. All right. So what we're gonna do, because you're gonna continue to do this right now, you're halfway through. So you're gonna keep closing, and we're gonna come back once you've taken all the loops off of the pegs and you fed them through your leftover, and you're gathering. Once you get to the end, we'll be back to really finish. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Now we are going to separate the hat from the loom and close it. As you see here, there's a string that you're supposed to pull.
Good job.
And now you have a needle.
Okay, that's a yarn needle.
Yes.
Did yours come with your set?
It did come with the set, if you buy the big set.
Okay. Which has the 4 looms.
Yes.
Okay. And so now you're tightening up the yarn so that it fits through the hole. Okay. And that's how you do it. You twirl it.
That way it fits.
Okay.
With this kind of material, it's hard to get it through the needle,
Right.
or at least with these needles.
Okay. Because you're trying to put 2 of them in.
Yeah. So let me get my other needles.
Okay.
It's always good to have an extra pair of needles around.
Okay. And the one you're taking now is not a plastic needle. That's a different needle.
Yes.
Is this metal?
It is metal.
Okay. Why are you're picking that one instead?
Because it has a bigger hole for me to use, and it has different sizes.
Okay. Which one are you going to choose? The biggest one?
Yes.
Okay. And again, you're gonna twirl it together.
That way it looks like this.
Okay. Giving you a bit of a fight there, huh?
It is actually.
Okay. It happens, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it does. Especially when the yarn is uneven.
Okay. How about we let you put the needle back on and come back?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. All right. We're going to come back once that yarn is in the needle.
And if you're having trouble, just double it.
Okay. You're like bending
Yes.
bending it in half. Okay, folding it in half. Okay.
And then
Having trouble like we all have trouble getting that yarn through that needle. It happens.
and then
Almost.
you open up the needle.
Go figure. We finished the hat, but the the hardest part is putting the yarn through the needle.
Yeah.
It happens. There we go.
This is usually always a breeze for me.
Not today.
Clearly. Yeah, I got it.
Ta-da!
Maybe a little messed up, but
It's there. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. So
now
you yarn your needle.
You
You
put
thread your needle. Okay.
you put your hand in the hat and then you go to the opposite side of the hat. Then you go through. Make sure you pull that part in.
Okay.
And then you go back out. And then you switch sides.
So like you're sewing it closed.
Yes.
Okay. So first you pulled, then you thread your needle, and then you sew it. Let's see. Okay.
It's not done yet.
Okay.
Oh
Don't tell me it came out.
no. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so you're gonna rethread the needle, right? And then, like, how many times are you gonna sew it? How many times you come back in and go back down? How many times do you do that?
It depends really how long the thread is.
Okay.
So if you have it like how much I had it at the beginning, it would be about 4 times.
So basically, you sew until you don't have any more yarn.
Yes, until it's completely under and you can't see it.
Got it. And then you're gonna like make a knot at the end, or you leave your string loose, or
Actually, that part is later.
okay, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
That's fair. We are threading
again.
again.
Okay, got 1 thread.
Almost.
Almost in there. Got it.
Ta-da!
Oh,
A
no.
second ta-da. Oh no! Don't say oh no. I'm gonna have to put a musical,
Part.
yeah, right in here. I'm gonna have to insert a song in here. Oh no.
This is how. That would be a good song to put in there.
So you want to thread and come back?
Yeah, it's just this tiny little piece. But wait, let's see if we get it through this time. Hopefully it does get through.
You got stomped at the end. Oh my.
Wait, got it. Got it.
Let's see. Yes.
Wait, what? Oh my god. Yeah, I think we're gonna need pause for this.
Okay.
And now we are back. So this is our last and final turn. So you go back into the hat. You turn it over.
Inside out.
And then you take the needle out. You knot it. But it has to be double so it stays and it doesn't come unloose. Wait. Yeah.
Okay. Are you putting it up close or real low?
It could be either way, but I would like to stay there.
Okay.
So, and then you cut this part.
Which is the very end of it.
Yes.
All right,
And
that
then-
one cut quick and easy. You turn it back around to the front, to where you
And
started.
You have your hat.
Awesome. And this is for an infant
Or a premature baby.
or a premature baby. Done on a blue loom
Yes.
by Jackie. Ta-da. Good job,
This
Jackie.
blue loom.
All right. And what are you going to do with your finished hat now? With this one? Where's this one going?
To premature babies.
Okay. At your local hospital?
Yes.
All right. Well, this is going to be beautiful on someone's little fella. Thank you. Thank you for showing us how to make a infant or newborn loom knit hat. All right. We'll be back. Thank you for the next project.
Yes.
Agreed?
Agreed.
All right, Jackie. Thank you. Bye-bye.